welcome to Coventry Today. I'm James Lambert.
And I'm Robin Baxter.
We start with breaking news. Bob Ainsworth is stepping down as Labour MP for Coventry North East.
Also on today's programme, the council's decision to further chop jobs in a bid to save money and balance the books has led to protests by the union in what officials say could potentially mean Armageddon. After the near loss of its franchise, Virgin Trains has announced that it will run the West Coast Rail Line for a further 23 months. After years of decline, Coventry City Council has marked Far Gosford Street for major development, a project that will cost £12 billion.
Coventry's Unison Union are standing strong against the council's decision to further cut jobs. Council leaders say in order to meet the budget shortfall and save £6 to £1 million over the next 3 years, it's an inevitable decision. Leah Freeman reports.
City Council is Coventry's largest employer, yet that hasn't stopped them from cutting 800 jobs over the next 3 years. Trade unions were in uproar because of the 45 minutes notice they were given before a mass email was sent out to all employees informing them that their jobs were under threat. Wednesday night they protested outside the City Council because of the 9.9% unemployment rate that Coventry has. Now, with more pressure to the City Council employees, there will be a higher rate, and they have no idea whether they will receive or keep their job. Over 100 people attended the Unison Union meeting to discuss the Chancellor's autumn statement, with over 50 people protesting outside the Council House.
Well, first of all, the Socialist Party, since the Condems took power, we've been calling both for an industrial strategy to defeat the cuts involving mass coordinated strike action, both locally and nationally.
I certainly think a lot of the workers are extremely angry with what they've been presented with, and there doesn't seem to be any real reason why.
The three biggest trade parties are meeting behind me at the moment to discuss the plans that the local City Council have unleashed. That's Unite, Unison and the GMB.
The consultation will start now. We've just been briefed. So it's not about whether the cuts will happen or not, it's where they will cut that we're being consulted on. The level of the cuts that we're facing this year, it will actually be stopping services, reducing the size of the staff as well.
What the council needs to be doing is to actually be organising across the country councils to actually fight the decisions being made by central government.
Where in the past there were cuts and there were smaller cuts and there would be a decision about what we wanted to supply, with these cuts it's not a decision about what we want to supply, it's about what we can afford to supply in terms of services to citizens of Coventry. Supply care to our elderly, against some services to children or to adults with disabilities, and if we choose to do that, are we going to do it to the same amount that we do now? So there's fundamental services that the citizens of Coventry have that will be cut, and that's why it's so important.
The council have said they hope to avoid compulsory job cuts through voluntary and early retirement. While it is unclear what the changes to the local council will be, it is clear that the role of the council will dramatically change. Leah Freeman, Coventry reports.
Virgin Trains has been awarded a temporary deal on their West Coast Main Line, striking up another contract for the next 2 years. After nearly losing the line, the deal has been a pleasant surprise for employees and passengers alike. Lelise Warner reports.
The government has announced that Virgin Trains will carry on running services on the West Coast Rail Line for 23 more months. The Virgin train that links London to Glasgow and passes by Coventry will be running the franchise as a management contract. Earlier this year, Virgin Train lost out an attempt to continue one of their most important services. However, due to complications and alleged what was being described as fundamental errors within the process that determines this, they have been granted almost 2 more years using the West Coast Line. We heard mixed reactions when asking people at Coventry Station about this development.
It's comfortable and sometimes cheaper than other operators, and generally they have better service than others.
The train itself is fine, there's no problem. It's probably the best in the country, but it's just the fact there's not enough space, to be honest.
They're good, but they could do with more, maybe. They're not as frequent as I'd like them to be.
The Department of Transport has emphasized that Virgin rival company First Group was not responsible. This adds to a mounting list of problems involving train lines, which includes London Midland's disrupted services caused by lack of drivers. Lily Werner for Coventry Today.
Also this afternoon, London Midland cancels more trains due to driver shortage. Coventry City Managing Director promises the team's football club will not go into liquidation.
It is said that the appearance and economy of Far Gosford Street, one of the city's only surviving historic streets, should soon have improved significantly. With work currently happening on the area, the new Gosford estate is being remodelled as a centre for creativity. Powandeep Dosand reports.
Coventry's historic Far Gosford Street is set to be brought back to its former glory. The project aims to improve its image. Far Gosford Street is hoped to become Coventry's very own Camden Market. Over £25 million combined has been invested for the funding of the rejuvenation. It also claims to encourage new creative businesses to potentially invest in the area. Windows and Refreshed has recently opened as part of the project. The owner spoke about what it is bringing to the area.
Possibly jobs, employment, and just general interest really, and hopefully, bring the community together.
He also spoke about how the plan came into action.
I think it's been a case of somebody's had a vision and an idea and they're putting it into place, and I'm really positive it's going to work because they've got some good ideas. Like they're trying to make it a Camden sort of market type of feel, and they're pumping a lot of money into it, so I think it's great. It's all positive, and because Coventry's had a few areas which have been run down for a long while and just ignored basically. So anything like this is great, and we should all be up for it.
Coventry locals are enthusiastic of the change.
This will be the first of many shops to reopen. Obviously, the street at the moment, it's got like small independent shops and stuff like that. But yeah, it's gonna get better.
This is Powandeep Dosand, Coventry Today.
Monday with your local news.
Till then, from Coventry Today, have a good weekend.
Goodbye.
Bye.